Well, hello, Bill Shaka here, welcoming you to another edition of the 5-Minute Motivator, welcoming you to Tamarindo, Costa Rica, and welcoming you to watching me try to figure out how to use my new selfie stick. It's given me a lot more ambulatory freedom, so I'm able to walk around a little bit and not necessarily have to worry so much about the phone and its placement. So little by little we'll figure this technology out, even if it's simple hardware. Okay, today, job hunting 101. Again, part of the emails that I get, especially from younger individuals, is what do I do to really prepare myself for work? How do I get a job? And I said, well, let me tell you a question that I have asked incumbents for, I don't know, maybe 30 years or so. And I mean, after the niceties, after working through the resume issues and what your goals are for the next 20 years, etc. I mean, this is obviously for younger people. You're not going to take, if I was looking for a job at the tender age of 63, if a recruiter asked me, what are your plans for the next 20 years, or what are your goals for the next 20 years? I mean, what am I supposed to say? I'm going to die? I don't know. I mean, obviously for younger individuals, you want to work through that process, and you need stock answers for that. But then here's a question that I ask incumbents all the time, and this is where I trip them up, or at least I get them to think on their feet. Here's the question: why should I hire you? Wow, that's a pretty impressive question. I got this from a colleague of mine back in the mid-'80s, back when I was cutting my teeth in management and leadership. And I think it's a really interesting question to ask. So tell me something. Why should I hire you? And that's when you get, if any of you remember the Honeymooners, the old Jackie Gleason episodes, you might have seen them in reruns on Nickelodeon, when Jackie Gleason used to get stymied, he would go humana, 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 and that's kind of the approach that I received a lot. That's kind of the results that I got when I asked why should I hire you. I'll get individuals kind of looking at me, mouth agape, maybe some saliva dripping down and going humana, 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 not quite sure of what the answer to that should be. Well, if you are looking for a job, folks, here is a suggestion for you. Come up with an answer for that. And I think even more important than that is to ask that question if the recruiter doesn't. You should ask the question somewhere in the interview process. Let me tell you why I think you should hire me. Or I'm sure that a question that's on your mind is why should you hire me? And answer it for them. Make sure your answers are good. Make sure they're bulleted, right to the point. You shouldn't take more than a minute or two to be able to answer that question, but have the ideas bulleted and have them memorized. Why should I hire you? It's a really interesting question to ask incumbents. By the way, why should I promote you is an ancillary to that. So even though you might know the individual, even though they might be working for you for a number of years and now they're looking for a promotion, why should I promote you? And let them give you the litany of their answers. Ladies and gentlemen, think about the answer to that question. Why should I hire you? And I have a feeling that your next job may be just around the corner. Bill Shaka thanking you for attending another edition of the 5-Minute Motivator. Looking forward to seeing you in the next edition. Bye-bye.